I don't. I mean, you're right that people may feel sorry for it, but I think it would most likely be the people who have been in bad situations where they've had to rely, quote unquote, on the kindness of a stranger. That they're so willing. I've always found that people who have so little are always the ones to give so much to
Mm-hmm.
people who have even less. It's not people who have everything that generally give. It's the people who, no, I've been there. I know what this is like. Let me help. And when they don't, well, when they don't accept, pride is a seventh deadly sin for a reason.
I couldn't believe it. So I'm online and I find Bob Wells' cheap RV living. I could live in an RV, travel, and not have to work for the rest of my life.
The RTR is a boot camp for beginner nomads. People forced into
Bob Wells
cars,
looks just like Santa
minivans,
Claus.
vans.
Doesn't he?
Forced into tents,
Everybody says that.
What's RTR stand for?
Rubber Tramp Rendezvous. It is in Quartzsite, Arizona, out in the middle of the desert on BLM land. You should come. I'm going to make you a map.
No, I don't think I'm going to go.
Oh.
And the Oscar goes to Nomadland.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chicago Cinephiles podcast. I am your co-host, Daniel. Join with me, as always, is James and Steven. How are we doing today, fellas?
We are great. How about you, James?
Great.
I didn't get the Hawaiian shirt memo, so I apologize.
That Hawaiian shirt. It's a paisley pattern.
Yeah, but it's kind of like the button up.
You're so not in right now.
I'm not. I know. I didn't get the memo.
Peer pressure. You're bringing me down.
I don't know fashion. Anyway, so welcome to the Chicago Cinephiles podcast, everyone. The podcast where we review previous Oscar winners to determine if they should have won or not. We have a randomizer at the end of every episode that picks it, and this week was the 2020 film Nomadland. So what we're going to do is we're going to discuss it, go over a little bit about it, should it have won, talk about it, and then we'll pick our next movie. So with that being said, we'll get some basic facts out of the way. So this was based on the 2017 nonfiction book Nomadland: Surviving America in the 21st Century by Jessica Bruder. It was released nationwide February 19th, 2021. And it stars Francis McDormand as Fern, and then David Strathairn or Heron as Dave.
Strathorn.
And it had a budget of about $5 million and box office about $40 million. So pretty good. 6 nominations and 3 winning, including Best Picture, Best Director, and then Best Actress, which obviously is Francis McDormand. So that's a really quick summary about what it's like. Now Steven's going to give us a little quick summary of the actual movie, and then go from there. Steven, take it away.
Yeah, this is a little bit different just because of the movie being so different, but I hope this works. Nomadland tells the story of Fern, a woman in her 60s whose life is upended after the death of her husband, soon followed by the collapse of her town's corporate plant, which leads to the loss not only of her job and her home, but also of her town itself. Fern finds herself living a nomadic lifestyle, working temporary jobs to travel west through America while living in her van. The film balances Fern's grief over the loss of her husband and the memories she has of the life they had together with the freedom she feels in her new life and the community she finds with other nomads and how they support and look out for each other. Nomadland is a stark portrayal of what happens when the American dream goes bankrupt and forces those on the edge of society to forge a new way to live their lives. Lives lived moment to moment on their own and that are still uniquely challenging and beautiful.
Great job. Thank you, Steven.
Thank you.
So now we want to move on to what was going on during this time period. So we like to kind of bring that up because that may affect the voters, why it won. So this would have been, the 2021. So some things that were going on were in January, we had the protests at the Capitol. Same month, Joe Biden was elected president. In April, the U.S. withdrew from Afghanistan. A theme for us is that the Olympics happened again in Tokyo. We seem to be getting those. I mean, I know they happen every 2 years, so it's kind of a good thing. And then just kind of the overall theme was just that, COVID was still happening, so we were still kind of dealing with that and the aftermath of all that and whatnot. So, kind of a not the best time to be alive, but hey, we made it. That's all that matters.
Looks like we made it.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so then with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the fun facts. As hard as it might be for this movie, do we have any fun facts or trivia that you want to share?
What about you, James? Hit it off if you have some.
Oh, okay. So obviously this was during the COVID time. I just want to if you see the acceptance speech in the movie, like that we played earlier, there's like nobody in the room. Like it's just a small little auditorium. I'm like, I don't know. Is it like cooler that you won an Oscar when there's like nobody in the room, like except a handful of people, or like, the big auditorium? I don't know. What you guys' thought was on that, looking at the Oscar speech.
Wow.
Steven, do you have an opinion on that?
Well, I mean, I don't
Which
know.
would you prefer?
Maybe it stops the Oscar curse of when you win an Oscar, you don't work for a while and you don't really do work as good as that. But it hasn't hurt Frances McDormand because she's won 3 Academy Awards, all for best performances and for an actress, not featured, but,
Sure.
but and that's more than Meryl Streep. I think Meryl has won 1 lead and 2 featured. Her 3. Yeah. And then Kate Hepburn has 4. I have 4 Academy Awards. So, 4.
I think if you're asking Fern which she would prefer to give the speech with the smaller crowd. I think I would prefer the smaller crowd just because I wouldn't do very well in Hollywood. I don't like fake people and fakeness, and I feel like people are always.
You would love LA.
People are always fake. So no, that's a good question, James.
If I moved to LA, people would go, "Who called the cab?" The cab driver's here.
But anyway, so I'll go on to some other little fun facts. I just wanted to point that out because
that's a cool fact. Yeah,
weird year for the Oscar
for sure.
So while they were testing out the shots, director Chloe and Frances McDonald actually had an upset stomach after dinner and used the buckets in their vans to relieve themselves, which because they were kind of living in vans to like get it like that. And Frances McDonald was like doing it for so long, she was like, I need to actually get rest because I got to stop being actually so tired. And, it's better to pretend to be tired and act than, actually be tired and then have to act. So I thought that was kind of a fun thing.
It's that old story about Dustin Hoffman stayed up for 3 days so he could act like he had been awake for 3 days. And I forget who the British actor was on that shot or that film, but he said, "Have you tried acting, dear boy?" Try acting, next time. That's why it's called that. But I love that Frances McDormand blended into the nomadic, lifestyle so well that she was offered a job at Target store when she offered her application. They were
wow.
Like, "Hire you." It's Frances McDormand. She has, now 3 Oscars.
So nobody knew who she was. All the nomads had no idea. Like,
isn't that crazy?
Bob didn't find out until the end. He didn't realize he was like, they were doing that emotional scene where he's like spilling out like, this is what my husband did, all that stuff. He didn't know until after that scene was shot that none of that was real.
Isn't that crazy? That is just nuts.
Yeah, but Bob actually, his real name, you can actually look him up on YouTube. He has actually some pretty good YouTube videos if you want to live this lifestyle. But the other thing that kind of brings it up is most of these people that are in the movie are actually nomads themselves. So
when I looked up the cast, it was like Bob as Bob, or like it was like it was pretty cool to see that.
Except in David Strathairn's son in the movie is his actual son.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. which, nepotism, nepo baby, whatever you need. But I don't know. To link in our last movie, um, Rita Moreno presented the Academy Award for Best Picture at this ceremony when she was 89, and the previous oldest person to do that was Lillian Gish. What did she present Best Picture to? Ordinary People.
Wow.
So
Oh, full circle.
something's a tagline.
That is pretty cool.
Cool.
Awesome. And
and
I
the
know.
pic-
Go ahead, sorry, James.
Sorry, one more thing.
Yeah.
So Fran, I actually worked some of these jobs too. She actually worked them, and like the beet harvest festival, like the beet harvesting, she worked at a beet harvesting thing. It was nuts,
Man,
like how she completely immersed herself. But that's it. That's all I got. Unless I
That's pretty
remember things
cool.
later.
That's pretty cool. Alrighty, so this is one of those movies that now we're going to move into the more of the discussion topics. This is one of those movies that none of us had seen. I know James had read the book, but none of us had seen going into it. So, what were our initial thoughts on the movie, and what do we have any expectations?
I mean, I think I'd heard some reviews that were sort of, oh, great, we're all going through the end of this, pandemic where we've been shut away. And here's a movie about a woman who's living in her van. Oh, this is exactly, it's not exactly the escapism of the MGM movies from the 30s during the Great Depression, So I sort of had this is going to be very, very down. Where in reality, it wasn't actually, because she finds a lot of beauty and a lot of happiness in her nomadic lifestyle. There are a lot of difficulties too, but she finds sort of ways to enjoy it. That woman's monologue about seeing herself flying away. There's things that they find their own joy and beauty in this journey, which I thought was really uplifting. What about y'all,
James?
So
Our resident expert.
So I read the book, and I was thinking to myself, this book and this movie, although have similar things, completely different. So like Fern, you follow, she's like a character in this book, because in the book you follow the reporter around and her trying to figure out nomad life and all that stuff, and you get these weird tidbits like apparently Flagstaff, Arizona is the Walmarts you want to park at in this country. So like you get some random info, and then like she kind of inputs herself, so it's like the book has a lot more characters in it, believe it or not.
No.
So like I was expecting to see a reporter reporting on this, but no, they just took one of the characters and just did her life story, which the director and Fran said later on said that this is more of a companion piece, not like a redoing of the book.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of
my
books are like that.
expectations were weird.
It sounds very much like a Postcards from the Edge. If you read Carrie Fisher's novel, it's about addiction, but it's all over the place. Many different characters, many different storylines. Then you go see the movie, and it's really about her and her relationship with her mother, told through fictional characters. And those weren't really major characters in that book at all. So, you have to sort of pick and choose, I guess. Otherwise, everything is 3 hours in Cimarron.
Guys, I'm sorry. Give me just 1 second. I apologize. Yeah, no, I agree with you guys. My opinion on it would be I was kind of similar boat with Steve, and I just heard like going through COVID, and it's just like I don't need this in my life right now. So I didn't watch it either. I just kind of had that mindset on it, but yeah, so that's kind of our expectation. So one thing I want to give a credit for, and kind of a cool thing, is the lighting. I really thought the gray scale, especially at the very beginning when she's going into Amazon. Which is going to get out of the way. Very unrealistic. They're not hiring 60-something-year-old old people to work at a plant that can't keep up with it. I'm just playing, but in all seriousness, like the gray, it really set the tone. And I usually don't notice that kind of stuff unless it's done really well. And I felt like it was done really well. So I don't know if you guys want to comment on the colorness, but I felt that gray was really. That hit me pretty good, honestly.
I like the cinematography, period. I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah. It felt like a documentary style almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so.
Well, the book is kind of a documentary, so I guess it would make sense.
It's like is it like it's like a biography, right, of her life? So I mean,
no, it's literally about some reporter that wanted to find out how people are living in the van. So she went out in a van and just started talking to people.
That's cool.
That's all that book is about.
She was a big Chris Farley fan, and she said,
That's what it sounds like.
I'm down by the river.
All right, so I want to get into the topic that this movie, we obviously could talk about just the surface level stuff. I think there's a lot more deeper in this movie that I kind of want to get into. So if you're looking for more of like just the lower or the surface level stuff, this is not going to be your episode. So I want to focus more kind of a little bit deeper stuff. Um, so which lifestyle would you guys prefer? Would you prefer the life that she lives, or the one when she goes and visits her sister, or she goes and visits Dave, where it's like a normal house? Like, which one would you? I mean, I assume I know the answer because we all none of us live in a van. But which one would you guys, or which one was more appealing to you guys?
God, I mean, a home, obviously, with someone else paying the mortgage and the bills. I mean, I mean, it sounds funny, but I mean, it shocked me throughout the movie how she was offered. The church has a shelter for people, blah blah blah,
Mm-hmm.
and she always said no. And I was like, what's going on with that? And why so? Is it pride? I didn't really sort of get at it at first, but I mean, I would take people up on that. That's, that old joke about God. Why didn't you help me, God? Well, I sent you a boat. I sent you, I did all I could. And, I'm working miracles all the time. So I just wondered why she was not. Well, maybe it's because she really enjoyed this sort of lifestyle that she found. To this day.
James.
I mean, so she did not choose this lifestyle. That
No.
lifestyle chose her.
Amen.
My, you know, going it as like a romanticized version of it, sure, like living in a van would kind of be interesting, traveling across the country in luxurious way where you have money to do stuff and not scraping by. That would be ideal. But no, I would choose the home. But I think it kind of, this movie idealizes it, like
Yeah.
the lifestyle in a way, like, I don't know, I want to poverty porn. Like, some people do choose this lifestyle. A lot of them were thrusted into it, so it's kind of hard to,
Yeah. I think
you
most
know.
of the people in this movie are thrust into it. I think you see people of a certain age who, have had bad luck, or they've, made bad choices, or whatever you want to call it. And now this is the option they have for living, because, Social Security or whatever is not going to allow them to live at a certain, or pay even their rent or their mortgage or what have you. So they found this, and this is what they're doing. Yeah. Very similar to, if I could afford this mobile home, well, maybe I can live this mobile home, which, my mother was always like, if I can just get this, you don't want to do that. Well, I don't want to, but that's what, if I can do it. So what about you, Daniel?
Yeah, I think for me, I'm in the same boat you guys. Obviously, I would prefer a house, obviously. But I also, as someone who grew up camping my whole life, not comparing the two, obviously, but I can
Mm,
see where there is that sense of adventure and wanting to be there, and even like more of a religious thing. I think when you're in nature and stuff, you kind of, I do anyway, it kind of focus more on God and whatnot, and I think your life slows down. So I think there's benefits to both sides. Steve and I agree that and James, you said the same thing, but these people necessarily they didn't choose this lifestyle. But I almost wonder if she didn't choose the lifestyle after she already had it, like because she had the options to go live with her sister. Now, who wants to do that? I understand, but like Steven said, she rejected that. She rejected Dave. She rejected the church offering. Like people were trying to help to get back where she can get her little apartment or whatever. And at the end of the day, there's not much difference between an apartment and a van. I mean, there is. Like, I'm not, but like, it's still a one room for a lot of people.
yeah.
So it's like, I just, I think that. Do you think that she did it because her being in a house made her miss her husband more because that's the life they had before? So she's kind of cut it off, and now she has a new life after her husband's death.
I would say it's a good way of putting it, because I got a lot out of her saying I was living so much in the past,
Mm.
living in my memories, that I wasn't living in this moment. And I think she finds this might just my opinion, that I think she finds this nomadic lifestyle living in the moment. moment to moment. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, it's still in the now, which is the way we all, quite frankly, I believe, should live. Because we're not promised tomorrow when we can't go back and change the past, no matter how much we want to. So let's just enjoy what we have right now. They're redneck Buddhist. Who knew? But you know, but I think you're right. I think she just lived so much in the past, however long it was between her husband's death and the loss of the job and the plan, that she's just sort of forcing herself to. I don't know. What do you think, James?
Yeah, like I don't know what I would. So if you lose your significant other, like you want to be in that, like even if let's just say it went well, would you still want to be in that house just every day being reminded? So
Yeah.
like, and you're still pretty young.
No.
So like, I don't know. I guess seeing hitting the road and just going wherever I want, even though it's seasonal work, at the Amazon work camp and then the
Work
wheat
camp.
harvest. And then, well, it was so Amazon had a program
Yeah.
where they would like let people camp. Like,
Oh, I didn't know
so
that.
like,
Yeah, because remember,
and it would be seasonal work.
remember she said like when she went into like
Oh, that's right.
yeah,
That's right.
lady
Yeah.
said yeah.
Camp Force, so it's
And then
called.
Arbeit
That's a
macht frei
program.
is over the door. So work will set you free.
Our like thankfully none of us have suffered the loss of a spouse, but I can speak on my mother's behalf. When my dad passed away, my mom obviously like stayed in the house that they lived in, and for her, I don't think she really. It took her a long time to want to move out because it didn't really happen until she met my stepdad. So she was very content and complacent. Maybe that's part of it because it was paid off, but she was very happy. So I don't know. I think it's just a case by case situation where some people can live in the house because they want to be there because the memories are good. Obviously, there's bad ones too. But then some people are like, no, I want to kind of get out and start back over fresh. So I can definitely see both sides to that.
Isn't that what the father says? And you can't take it with you. This is where my wife. I have these memories, and I don't want to give up the house because it's like
Look it
losing
up.
the last part of her. Um,
But yeah, no, I think we're kind of on agreement there. Let us know in the comments below if you guys disagree. If you guys are more the Nomad, would love to hear that. So then I guess next thing is like, should we feel some type of sympathy and sorrow for Fern? I'll go first. I say I think you can feel sorry for her, but I don't think she feels sorry for herself. And that's kind of how I see it because what the world or what America says is successful, you may not feel that way. And so like for her, like, the
no.
fact that she made friends on the way or the fact that she was able to pass maybe some information to that younger kid or whatever, like maybe that was her way of kind of giving back and maybe she was happy with that. So I mean, I'm sorry, like I don't want anyone, older to have to live in a home like that. Like unless they choose to, obviously. But so like I don't think she would feel sorry for her, but I could see where people would feel kind of because I thought like Steven mentioned at the very beginning, I thought it was maybe what the movie was going to be was just being nothing but like her crapping in the bucket and like her being miserable about it. And I was very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
I think she found peace with her life. Like,
Mhm.
so like, I feel sorry that she lost her husband, but like, I don't know if we should feel sorry for her in general because,
Mhm.
like it or not, she's what we think of. She's choosing that lifestyle at this
Mhm.
point because she did have other outs. So, she's self-actualized. She's living her best life, I guess.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're right that people may feel sorry for it, but I think it would most likely be the people who have been in bad situations where, they've had to rely, quote unquote, on the kindness of a stranger that they're so willing. I've always found that people who have so little are always the ones to give so much to
Mhm.
people who have even less. It's not people who have everything that generally give. It's the people who, no, I've been there. I know what this is like. Let me help. And when they don't, when they don't accept, pride is a seventh deadly sin for a reason.
Yeah.
You have to let that go and
No, that's a great
accept,
point.
accept people's gifts.
Um, this may be a weird question, so I may have worded it wrong, but do we have examples of times where we felt like a nomad? Maybe not even like maybe not even actually being a nomad, but you just feel like you're, and I think me and Steven can relate to this because like us going back home to visit our family and stuff, where you feel like you don't belong, where you feel like, you just kind of feel like you are a nomad because you're in a room and everyone's happy and like whatever, but you still have that like you're looking at the door ready to go type deal. Do we ever have examples of that? The examples are just like the family scenes in the movie where her sister seemed very loving, like,
Oh
and
yeah.
she like, and that's why I was really concerned about the movie too. Like Steven said back at the beginning, like I thought she was gonna have nobody, but it seemed like she had a pretty good support system that was willing to help
Yeah.
her. And her sister gave her $5,000, didn't even ask. I couldn't do that. I don't have $5,000 to give.
Mhm.
Now, they obviously got a little bit of beef at the cookout with the neighbor. Or it might have been her husband or neighbor, somebody about the capitalism thing. But like, you just got the sense that she was a caged animal, like she didn't want to be there. So,
Yeah.
like, have you guys had
That's a
examples
very
of?
good point. That's a very
Thank
good
you,
point.
thank
Caged
you.
animal, you know.
Have you guys had examples like that in your life where you felt like that?
I would not say this is the same, but I just want to say this. When I moved to Chicago after living in this, not a small town, but not a great large city in Tennessee in the '80s, and being a gay kid, when I moved to Chicago, I was here for 6 months, and when I came back to Knoxville for a wedding, this graduate student who had lived in New York said to me, I said, I love it. I just love Chicago. And she went, let me tell you why. She said, you live in this town you grew up in all your life, and you say things to people, and they look at you like you have three heads. Now you move to this city, and you say the
Hmm.
exact same thing, and people go, yeah. I said, that's it.
That's a Tuesday for me.
I'm no longer standing out and weird. I'm just, yeah, well, of course, whatever. And I think that she sort of fits in with these people. She's found some people who are sort of like her, living in this moment, helping each other out, trading, and so she really is enjoying that. And when she's found this sort of what she used to have, this other life, it's sort of omnipresent for her. But you're right, she is like a case animal. It's a very good way to put it.
Thank
What
you.
about you, James?
I don't know. I've kind of lived in the same area my whole life.
Been a Chicago guy down there for a long time.
I I can give an example too, like get a little personal. Like I was similar. Like this is how I felt because growing up, I never really saw the appeal of drinking and all that kind of stuff. Mainly because I played sports, and so like I was never able,
Yeah.
like I was barely good enough to make the team, taking care of my body and not being, getting trashed the night before. And so like when I went to college, it was a really hard step for me to like like I you kind of get ostracized and you kind of become like a nomad because no one invites you to the parties because they know you're not going to drink. I know, Steven, you're not a big drinker either. And
Mhm.
so we kind of feel that, like when you go somewhere, everyone knows that, like, it's not the same level, but it just kind of gives you that image where you feel like you don't belong.
And you realize how much is revolves around drink. You celebrate, you drink.
Hmm.
Something goes wrong, you drink. You're
Yeah.
going to have a party, you drink. You go out for a barbecue, you drink. Everything is around alcohol,
Yeah.
as opposed to let's have some ice cream.
Yeah.
Coffee.
So it's
Yeah.
just that same, like, that's my example. That's where I've really felt the most like ostracized or felt like I didn't belong, would be in those settings like that. So like it's not the same level as what she's talking about because she wants to get back on the open road, but I can totally see where she's come from. And the fact that, like, I mean, I'm gonna give me and Steven a pat on the back. We moved to Chicago. Like neither one of us knew anybody, and we both moved there. About 100 years for each other. He got here before me, but you
Well, it
know,
was covered
he
I mean,
wagons and
Steven did come here to help rebuild after the Chicago fire,
yeah,
so we do have all we
yeah,
do have a debt
yeah.
for
this
that.
place was nothing. I
Betsy
mean,
was his cow, actually. So, like,
you know,
but
I knew
yeah,
Mrs. O'Leary, hot chick, hot chick. She was really cool.
but yeah. So I mean,
Big
like,
tramp.
even me and Steven, if you ask people in our hometown, they'd probably say we're nomads because we uprooted and left our families and moved a
At
thousand
my
miles
10th
away.
and 10th reunion for high school, out of a class of 200 and I think 56 students, three had moved out of not just out of town, out of state and out of town. They looked at me like I was the strangest person in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right. There's something about it. Yeah, but when you're in that car going, wow, I just have really screwed this up. I just moved to a city. People said that the Dan Ryan, I was like, what the hell are they talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they just use the number? All that kind of stuff. So it was just a completely different world.
Yeah, for sure.
I have to learn that the show means the movie. You're going to show out,
Um,
by you, and all that stuff.
did you guys feel that? So one thing I want to talk about is the relationships. This movie, obviously, it's not very action packed. So we got to find something with the, the situations with the. I really enjoy the relationships. Like we talked earlier, like Steve and I was really on the same thing as you. I really thought she was going to be like by herself and have like
Yeah.
an evil stepsister or something. And even like did you guys, James, you may not have because you read the book, but did you guys side eye Bob whenever like I was so side eyeing him. I'm like, Charles Manson, is that you? Like, because when you hear like, oh, we're gonna live out in this commune in the middle of nowhere, it's like,
Mhm.
and are we gonna be wearing Nikes and drink Kool-Aid? Like, what's
And the spaceship's going to take us to heaven.
yeah,
Here we
like,
go,
all right, Waco, like, what's going on? I don't know. Like, I definitely side eyed. I'm so thankful for once this movie really felt like all the relationships were genuine, and like even like James said, like I didn't even know she was an act, like didn't even know who she was, like so it's like it really was. But I just want to give a shout out to the relationships. I thoroughly enjoyed the relationships. Do you guys have a relationship that you really enjoyed more than the others?
Well, I liked her with the woman who was sort of stressing that she needed to sort of like, be independent, and you don't have a spare tire, and that kind of stuff was really tough on her.
Was that
But
Swanky?
I believe so. Yeah.
Because what was the other girl's name? Like Linda May or something?
Nomad 4. I have no idea.
Yeah, the I think the one that worked with her was Linda May, the one that
Mhm.
didn't have any front teeth.
Yeah. Oh, my relative. Oh, that's right. Oh,
I know I liked her too because she's the one that passed away with like the cancer, I believe. Right?
no,
Yeah.
no.
James,
I,
what did you? Or
mm.
sorry, Stephen, I didn't mean to cut you
No, I
off.
just I didn't have anything that really stuck out for me. No.
Well, the woman that went up to Alaska we're talking about, it's actually kind of fascinating because I feel like they didn't do her justice in this movie.
Mm,
Oh,
Like
wow.
she's a real character, and they cut out some of the interactions and stuff like that, which I guess you would have to because the reporter isn't in it.
right.
So I guess you kind of have to do it. So you're kind of following Vern. But I don't know. She's like one of my favorite people in the book, and that she's going up there, and she has bailed out so many people, like when they would have run into troubles, and she's like lecturing them, like I
Yeah.
guess as the all-knowing grandma, I've been on this road long enough. You need to listen to me, otherwise you're gonna die, you dumb idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so like I liked her, and I felt like they kind of reduced her role to a little bit. But
Yeah, I felt that too. I feel like her role was rushed. It was like they uh kind of rushed off Linda May and then brought her in. It's like it kind of felt like that was her replacement.
Mm.
well, the book is like there's so many different people because she moves, and then
Yeah,
you're like
it's
a
a
different town,
nomad.
and you get all these different people. So like you're in a Walmart parking lot and then you meet all these people there, and then you move on to the next location and you meet different people. So it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Mm.
It's hard. It's a hard movie to capture. That's probably why they narrowed it
Yeah.
into Vern.
I want to say one thing before we go to the next thing. One thing that I was so confused about in this movie, and we all were too, like when she left or went away from the Amazon job, I was like, it didn't track that. Oh, this ended. It was temporary. Did she get fired? Did I miss something? Oh, yeah, so all this sort of like going from job to job, it wasn't really, it wasn't described well or sort of portrayed well to me. And I was a little like, what's just going on? Is she losing jobs? Is she choosing
Hmm.
to, I couldn't really follow.
So, in the book, it kind of explains this in great detail. So there's like a circuit that these people do, and like different groups kind of move into different things. So Amazon during the holidays had this program called Camp
Yeah,
Force.
it's a seasonal.
So they would, yeah. So it's a seasonal job. So after that's done, you'd move on to something else. Winter was kind of slow. You'd kind of move south after Amazon,
Wow.
and like you would help with different harvests, like the beet festival.
Yeah.
Some of them, like Wall Drug, that's a seasonal job as well. Although it
Wow.
is open year round. So like it's like this huge circuit that
Hmm.
different people did, and usually you'd hear about it by just like, hey, like when the guy was offering her like, hey, you want to come to Wall Drug? The Harvest Festival isn't until like a couple months. You need something now, so like
Yeah.
the book does a great job of saying you need to come over here.
Mm.
We can get you. I can hook you up.
Okay. And that
Okay.
So it's like
again shows the
it's
community.
It's
Yeah.
so weird because like there's like this nomadic group of people that go from place to place.
Yeah.
It's
I
interesting.
I think for me the relationship that I enjoyed probably I think I agree with Steven. I really liked the relationship between her and Cranky or whatever it was, Swanky, sorry.
Swanky.
But
Cranky
I
Swanky.
but yeah, just because I just enjoyed, I don't know, but I'm like you, I think I enjoyed them all, so it's kind of, I know it's a cop out answer, but I really enjoyed just the diversity of it. So then that kind of, see, what you talked about the community, do you think that being a nomad makes you more open to new people and new experiences? Because I think again, I think an example we can give is Stephen, me and you moving to Chicago. Well, you don't know nobody. So, I mean, unless you just absolutely don't want to meet anybody, which you can. But like, I remember the first few weeks of me being in the city, I would walk up to random people on like a park bench, sit beside them and talk to them, go to Starbucks, like just meet random people, never see them again, just meet them. And it made me so much more open. And then once I found my group, I never really branched out of that. And so I think
Mhm.
being a nomad really makes you more social. But I mean, also some people are probably antisocial, but I think it makes you more of a community because, like, do we even know our neighbors that we're beside right now? No,
Those
I
people,
do.
please.
you know.
No way.
Well, James is a homeowner, so of course he does. But he's the
I'm a
exception.
homo. Hello, homo. A homeowner. Homeowner. Hello.
Steven's a homo owner.
Don't I wish? I see what you mean, but I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, James?
Like, you kind of have to be
Hmm.
like this flat tire.
Yeah,
You're just gonna have to go up and talk to somebody. Or when Fran was talking to that kid who was like, "Do you really want to have this lifestyle?
Yeah.
Like, you're messing up, kid. You can still go back.
yeah,
Like,
Listen to me,
like
buddy.
yeah.
been doing this long enough. Like, you have a chance. Don't screw it up. Like, so I think you kind of have to be you have to be open and put yourself out there.
Yeah, I
Otherwise,
agree.
you could just be SOL.
Unless you're like a millionaire and runs a YouTube channel and you choose that lifestyle, like.
Hmm.
But I agree, you need that community because you need that stuff. Like you said, you need the person to help you, fix a tire or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, no, I just kind of want to get y'all's take on that. Because I do
I think it
think
was
when you're,
also interesting that the first thing that someone repeated to her was that the speech from the Scottish play, you know, tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in a petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time, you know, uh, you know, life's in a walking shadow. I mean, this sort of negative, poor player struts and frets, dead told to him by an idiot. And then the next one, the Shakespeare is sonnet 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? I
hmm,
mean, such a beautiful. To me, it was showing how accepting and and finding the joy and the beauty in her new life. To me, I saw that.
hmm.
I don't know if that was being a Shakespeare fan. I don't know, little Billy Shakespeare.
I you could tell you're a theater person because you said that Scottish play.
I will. I've seen too many weird things happen. I'm not going to say the name of that play. No, too many weird. No, people who don't believe that stuff. You don't want me to get up and go outside and turn around 3 times and curse and spit. And you know, I mean, I really have. I've been injured when people wouldn't go away with the curse. So no. Yeah, you're right.
All right. Well, last thing of the is the final scenes, plural, I guess. I thought it was really touching with her selling her old life off, and
Hmm.
kind of getting that closure. Her going to the old house and I think breaking down for a little bit. I feel like, and then just walking out the back door to her new, metaphor, like her new, home essentially, because that's where she's at in a while. But I really liked that final scene, how it was shot and everything. What did you guys think about the final scenes?
I
I
liked it too. No.
I enjoyed it. Like the cinematography on it was great. Like her, earlier you got a signpost where she was explaining her backyard. He goes out one last time and just looks at the backyard and says, "Well, this is it," and
Mm-hmm.
then tells off everything. I think it did a really good job as wrapping the story up.
Yeah.
And I think you look at towns like company towns, and you think they're from the past, from coal mining towns, in the Appalachians. But no, this is something that just happened in 2008 to these people, and the
Uh,
entire
two,
town was shut down.
2011 was when the U.S. gypsum plant closed down, and
Oh,
they were
wow.
given like 5 months to be like, "You guys got to get out of here from the company housing."
My God,
Yeah, it's crazy.
that's just
Company towns
nuts.
do not work, apparently.
We would have told you that back in the holler.
1945, yeah. Alrighty, y'all. So then that being said, let's move on to kind of our thoughts on it. I'll change a little bit. I'll go first. Did we like the movie? I haven't had a chance to talk to you guys. This is going to be new for all of us. Yes, I love this movie. I thought it was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it. Going into it, like I said, I was a little bit, skeptical of it, but I really enjoyed it because I knew that I liked, Frances McDormand as an actress.
Yeah.
Especially like in Three Billboards Outside of, I think it's Ebbing, Missouri is what it's called, where she's obviously a little bit older and kind of plays that more of a character. Whereas, when she was Marge in Fargo, she's younger, obviously, but like, so I just kind of, I was like, I'm gonna turn my mind off. I'm gonna give her a chance. And I thought it was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
Mm.
Steven, I'm gonna go with you because I know you were skeptical of it too. What was your thoughts on it?
I mean, I liked it. I didn't love it. I mean, like I said, there were times when I was like, "Wait a minute, why is she here? What brought her to this place, and why did she leave there?" And I was a little confused by that. But the cinematography was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was well shot and beautifully acted. But would I want to watch it again? Probably not.
Hmm.
But it was a beautiful film. What about you, James?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Like, obviously seeing the book and seeing this, it's like if you think of it as a companion piece, that's what actually made me
Mm.
like this movie more. Um, it is a good film. You know, I enjoyed it thoroughly. It's an interesting snippet in people's lives and this lifestyle that we don't probably normally get to see.
Mm.
Cinematography was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoyed it. I don't know if I need to watch it like in 20 years. I'll rewatch it.
Mm.
One
Yeah.
thing, Steven, I just want to say to you, like obviously you have your opinion, that's totally valid. I think the fact that you were confused portrays her being a nomad because you never know when one thing is going to end, a new
Oh,
thing
that's very
begins.
true.
So, like
That's
for
very
me,
true.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on the confusion because I knew she was a nomad, and like I'm very familiar with seasonal jobs. Like I don't James, I don't know about you, but like I had seasonal jobs all through high school. I worked at a Christmas tree farm. Like I
Wow.
understand that kind of stuff, and so it's like
Worked
I
at Six Flags.
I was able, yeah. So like I was able to pick up on that. But no, Stephen, I do see what you're saying. Obviously, I just kind of want to give a little fun little joke about that being nomad.
Well, I think it's
Um,
also odd or interesting to say, like I just said at the beginning, the Great Depression. Lots of people went to go see, all these different fantasies and dance musicals, and now after our sort of Great Depression with COVID, what do? This is the movie we go to see. This is the movie that we want to see
but
happen.
I wonder when it started like being produced because it was released in technically it was released in
But
Venice in September of 2020. So I really wonder like could they just not have maybe they didn't want to hold it off because it's just they didn't want to waste any more money. I don't think they intention. I think if they could go
I
back in
agree.
time, they probably would have. Like.
I mean, why was it chosen for the best
Oh,
picture
I
though?
see what you're saying. Okay.
What does that say about us? I don't know.
Well,
But
that's a good segue. Let's move into the. This is a very good year, actually. I didn't realize how good the year was till I was looking at some of the
oh
movies.
yeah.
Just to give you guys a reference, IMDb gave it a 7.3. I'm going to read the other movies and then give the score. It actually, surprisingly, Nomadland was the second lowest score on the list of
Wow.
movies. So we have The Father, which got an 8.2. Judas and the Black Messiah got a 7.4. Mank got a 6.8. Minari got a 7.4. Promising Young Women got a 7.5. Sound of Metal got a 7.7. And then Trial of the Chicago 7 got a 7.7, ironically.
Wow.
And so, our resident 21st century expert, James, you've probably seen either half of these, if not more. Maybe not. Maybe it's before your unlimited movie days. But what do you think should have won if you have seen these other movies? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I assume you've probably seen a few of them, just knowing who you are.
Okay, so this was the dark time when my AMC was paused, so I couldn't go to the movies like three times a week. So
No,
this
say
was a
no.
very dark time in my life for this.
The dark times. We dare not speak its name.
But with that being said, I have seen a lot of these movies. The Trial of Chicago 7 is an excellent film.
Oh yeah,
I think it's one of those films that you should definitely go see.
I agree.
Sound of Metal, pretty good. Judah the Black Messiah, I actually enjoyed quite a bit. With that being said, I think this movie should have won.
Mm.
The reason why is all of these other movies we have seen before.
Mm.
This is one movie this year that we haven't really seen, like
That's a
in
good
past
point.
Oscars.
Yeah, it's a good
Like
point.
this is the one film that shows like this is dealing with after the financial crash.
Cimarron. What are we talking about? Cimarron was that was a Nomad movie.
She wore those boots he wore at Cimarron, didn't she? I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I'm trying to block that episode out of my mind.
Cimarron.
Do I wish this was released in 2019? Yes. I think it would have done better because right now it was just kind of in a depressing state right now. So I would actually put this as the winner. This is the one time I actually agree with the Academy.
Very nice. Steven?
I mean, I liked it, but I really liked Mank. I kind of enjoyed Mank a little bit better. I loved the Trial of Chicago 7 because it's Aaron Sorkin.
Steven coming out of left field, disagreeing with IMDb's list and putting the worst rated movie on there as his favorite. Love it.
I mean, shocking. I mean,
Hey, no, I love it. That's why we do this.
I mean, but I just, of course, I just like that movie and those writers. But
it's a funny name too to say. Yo, Mike.
What about you? What do you?
So I'm trying to not be biased here and not be personal, but that's hard to not be. For me, it's got to be The Father, and it's more because of why. Let me kind of explain. So my stepdad's dad passed away during COVID, and he not from COVID, but from Alzheimer's, and so me telling this movie, telling my mom and him about it, and then I didn't get a chance to watch with him because I wasn't there, but just like hearing like, my stepdad's not someone that really talks about his feelings. Like you could sit with him for 6 months and know nothing about him, and he opened up so much, and to me, like someone that doesn't talk that much can open up about that and really he even said he's like, they hit the nail on the head. And like one of the things I love about The Father is that they had different actors and actresses playing, and you're like, wait, did I miss something? And you're like, no, you're looking at it from the POV from the dad. He doesn't recognize this person, so it's someone different. It's not his daughter. It's a random girl. And so it's like, I think that's mind-blowing for cinematography. So I'm torn. I like them both. Honestly, I really did. But I'll argue The Father just to kind of play devil's advocate.
And it's Anthony Hopkins. What do you want?
Right?
Great actor.
I can see The Father is the only one that I would put up against this film.
Yeah, and kind of what you said, James. Like it's new in my opinion. I don't know of a movie where it shows the Alzheimer patient's point of view. To me, that's new. Maybe being ignorant. Please let me know in the comments if I'm an idiot. But as far as I know, like that's something I've never even seen or heard of before. I thought it was just a cool concept that they made about a terrible disease.
Well, to play devil's advocate of that, I see what your all's point is, but this is about the best picture, not the most, new ingenious picture. I mean, if someone redid the basic premise of Casablanca, but they did it better.
But couldn't something that's brand new be so world renowned and so shocking?
I totally agree. I agree. I'm just saying that that
you want to make sure we're like we're on the right path.
Oh, that's new. Somebody killed a chicken on screen. That's new. But whatever. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. So, no, that's a good point. I definitely see that point too. Yeah, I think there was a few. Now I'm not gonna lie, most of these I've never seen, but I do think that I agree that I think there's some good options. So some good choices here this year for which you're kind of surprised because it was during the everybody's locked in, but we had some pretty good movies apparently. So
absolutely.
Alrighty, the only thing scarier than COVID is our random wheel of fate that we have lined up, and let's go ahead and get that pulled up.
Wheel of fate. Wheel of movies.
Come on.
Let me remove Nomadland. Give me just a moment. Okay.
We want something fun.
Steven, fun movies don't win the Oscars. We both know that.
Yes, one. Oh, I can think of one that did. Broadway Melody. No, I'm kidding.
Please no.
That's a Broadway melody.
That's a terrible movie. People who like Broadway movies think it's terrible.
How dare you? Even gay people think it's terrible.
Yeah. All right, y'all.
Gay
Watch.
people.
You know what we're gonna get? We're gonna get something even more depressing, like Deer Hunter. Not Deer Hunter.
Oh, I don't know if I can watch that one.
What's the movie where they go to? What's the movie where they go to Vietnam and come back with oh God, Platoon.
You mean Apocalypse Now?
Yeah, Apocalypse Now. Thank you. Yeah. All
I
right.
love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Here we go, boys and girls.
Cross-eyed mosquitoes.
I like to look away and not look until the last second.
The best thing.
We are watching The Last Emperor, 1987.
Oh wow!
Oh,
So
that's the Eddie. The Eddie. Who's in that movie?
No, this is not a comedy. This is about like the last emperor of China. This movie typically people have on the list of being problematic because I think it's very like not politically correct. So this will be interesting to say the least.
So 3 white guys are going to talk about it. That'll be great. Here we go.
Yes,
is it like worse than Cimarron?
I think people put it in that same category as being that bad because I think the kid is like a white kid. I think I don't know, but it's not. I mean, obviously it's made better because it's from the '80s, but like, yeah, from what I've seen, listened to these podcasts, people talk about this is one of the ones that's kind of problematic, which that hasn't been a problem for us because we don't, we try to view the movie like the time it was in, not necessarily like 2025 lens, but yeah. So that'll be interesting. That'll be
Bertolucci. That's pretty interesting.
That'll be a fun one to go over. Fellas, any last thoughts before we wrap this up? I know it's kind of a shorter episode, but any final thoughts that you guys want to share?
I think if you actually defecate into a can in a van, you should get an Academy Award. Just give me one. I don't think there's a meaty voting.
What about the floor? Because I've done that. Does that count?
Well, that's just being Southern. I mean, really. I mean,
I get a Tony for that, right? you get.
As my grandmother says, it's hell when you can't trust your own eyes. But there you go.
Can't trust a fart. Who can you trust? On that note, if you made it this far in the video, we really appreciate your time, and please do consider subscribing, leaving us a comment, liking us, turn on your post notification bell so you never miss an update, because otherwise you would never get to hear these great Southern words of wisdom from Stephen and myself. I know James is just there shocked.
It's like, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm from Chicago.
I'm going to have nightmares tonight.
Yeah. So to wrap it up, guys, we really like this movie as a whole. We all concede that this possibly could win. I know Stephen preferred Mank, and then James threw out a few good ones as well. You guys go see the Chicago 7. I did the Father. We have Judas the Black Messiah, Sound of Metal. Definitely some good options for you guys to check out. So please let us know your thoughts below, and let us know what your thoughts are on this movie, and then heck, even The Last Emperor, if you have any thoughts on that. But until next time, this is the Chicago Cinephiles signing out.